Hello everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear. As you can see, this is a little bit of a different hike for me. It's a bunch of houses right there. Just gonna rant for a second here because I find it really frustrating. I go hiking all the time. Most of the hiking that I do is solo, especially now that the coronavirus is a thing. If you're watching this video a ways down the road and hopefully coronavirus is gone and it's not a thing anymore, then you'll probably remember that coronavirus was a big deal. So I live in LA County, in the Pasadena area, and most of my hiking is right there in the San Gabriel Mountains. There's a bunch of great trails super close to home that I can get to within 20 minutes, half hour at the most, that have awesome elevation gain, really cool creeks and waterfalls and all kinds of fun stuff to hike to. In some places there's remains of old structures and railways and tunnels and mines and all kinds of fun stuff to hike around and see. I grew up out in Ventura County, hiking a lot in these hills that I'm in right now, but what's really frustrating me is that because of the coronavirus, they decided to close all hiking trails. So it started in LA County. Last weekend, they sent out an emergency alert to everyone's cell phones saying that no more beaches, no more hiking. That's it, because people were apparently abusing those privileges. Which I will say, I drove by some trailheads over the weekend, the ones that are popular anyways, and it was a sea of people, way too many people out there. And a bunch of them were out there in big groups, which defeats the purpose of social distancing. And of course, if you're hiking in that way, then you're not protecting yourself from getting the virus. But for people like me, who like to go hiking alone and get up in the hills in the fresh air, and just enjoy the solitude, I would argue there is nothing possibly healthier that you could do right now for your body and to keep yourself from going crazy sitting inside the house all day. If I drive to the trailhead alone, go hiking alone, get back in my car alone, and drive home alone, then there is nobody who's being poorly or adversely affected by any of my actions. So the fact that today I drove out to Simi Valley, where I grew up and where I spent a lot of time hiking, and I went to go do my favorite trail up here, which I've done a couple times in the last few days. And I got there and there was a ranger putting a trail closed sign and a bunch of caution tape over it because of the coronavirus is infuriating to me. I hiked there several times over the past week. Each time I only saw a few other people on the trail. Everyone was respectful, kept a distance from one another. There was nobody up there catching the coronavirus or transmitting the coronavirus. It's just not happening up in the hills of Simi Valley on a hiking trail. Meanwhile, if people want to get together, they're going to do it in some way. If the only way that you can think of to go see people is to meet them on a hiking trail, that's nonsense. Like, these people who are already visiting with each other and breaking the social distancing rules aren't exclusively going hiking to do it. So the fact that it feels like I'm being punished because I had to go from trailhead to trailhead in Simi Valley outside of LA County today and still found that multiple were closed, and then I had to come and just do this frankly kind of garbage hike along the edge of the waste management site, sandwiched between that and a bunch of houses in this residential neighborhood. It's nonsense. I think that it is overreach from the government. I don't understand how closing trails is helping anybody. In fact, I would argue that it is harming people. I don't understand it. And so if you disagree, I'm sorry. I'm not going to agree with you. I've thought about it for the last week. It's super infuriating for me. I can't figure out a way that it is harmful for me to go hiking for anybody in the world right now when I can still go to 7-Eleven and buy snacks, and that's okay to do. It doesn't add up for me. So here I am at the end of my hike, coming up on these houses where I just parked in this quaint little Simi Valley neighborhood so I could hike between homes and a waste management facility. Yeah, I'm frustrated. It's a bummer, but what else can I do? It's the only way to get fresh air today, I guess. Or I could go walk in my neighborhood, because that's fine to do, where all the other pedestrians are out walking. That's way safer than hiking.